Miraculous, Ladybug, and Cat Noir the movie. So why not just make it Miraculous or Ladybug and Cat Noir the movie? I guess I didn't know which title to use. Anyways, you may be wondering why I'm reviewing this movie. You might presume I'm a fan of the show. No, I hate this show, or at least what I've seen of it. You know, hate's a strong word. I don't give a shit about this show. Basically, my 11-year-old brother loves this show and watches it all the time, and I just can't stand it. The bad dubbing, the ugly textures to its subpar animation, I really don't like it. I think it looks ugly, and I think it just looks like a toy. I mean, it's better animation than I can do. Look, the more I could give it a chance would mean throwing my dignity out the window. I really don't like it, but, you know, I could keep trying and wondering why I'm wasting my time on something meant for children instead of something meant for all ages and using that time for something worthwhile. Someone my age probably wouldn't get into something like this, and I don't get anything out of this, certainly. Well, I did throw my dignity out the window since hearing the movie was an origin story and seeing the animation not make me want to barf. Like, seriously, I seen better 3D animated shows for children better than this a decade ago. Like, let's say, after Jimmy Neutron, before, okay, what was I saying? Oh yeah, the point I'm making is that I like to give things a chance. Sometimes. You realize some things aren't for you, or it's bad, and I get to say it, but to be fair, I had to watch the show or something to, you know, say, well, maybe I should have been a fan of the show. The movie doesn't have to represent it, but, you know, this is a movie that's the origins of these characters. That's at least what I knew going in. And, you know, I have to be fair. I had to watch the movie to begin to end, and not just say, well, it's bad based on the first 3 seconds. So, who's the real loser in the end? Look, if you like the show or movie, good for you, but I really don't. And okay, my opinions on the movie might seem generous, but probably not. With that said, what's the movie about? So this is a French anime movie, and I know this is from France since, of course, the Eiffel Tower is in this, and the Louvre. It's written by Bettina, Lopez, Mendoza, and Jeremy Zag, with Zag in the director's chair. And when I looked up the poster for this so I can use for the thumbnail, I was like, oh wait, is he the guy who was actually in charge of the toys? Honestly, now I think about it, I did want to give this movie a chance, as it'd be my best chance to understand why my brothers and countless others like this show more than just being a way to sell toys. But I didn't actually have to watch the show to understand this movie. I just watched the movie and didn't like it. And I can leave the show as is, something my brother watches it and in the background, and I glimpse at from time to time when I'm doing something else more important, and I'm like, what the hell are you watching? Why do you watch this? Anyways, so the movie. So Marinette is the main character. She's voiced by Anouck Hautbois. Anouck Hautbois. Marinette is Arlie. She is a clumsy teenage girl because she's awkward and clumsy in the way this trope is always used. She's funny because she's the main character who is cute and would probably be relatable, but boy does she mess up a lot in ways she didn't mean to. You know, she just keeps screwing up, and it's not like she means to. I'm not saying like this can't be done right. It has worked before, but getting back to the premise. So Marinette wants to be a fashion designer. That never plays a part into the story. So Marinette wants to be a clumsy, not be a clumsy buffoon. No, she doesn't want to be a clumsy buffoon. I don't know what she wants to be. Anyways, she doesn't want to be a clumsy buffoon, and she runs into Adrien, voiced by Benjamin Bollen, who is the son of super rich grieving father Gabriel, voiced by Antonie Tome. While both are suffering from, you know, the death of I actually don't even know if I got this woman's name. The latter surely goes to measures that he shouldn't. That this movie is about... Okay, so the movie opens by explaining that there are these things called Miraculous that provide its owners powers. Gabriel uses one to become evil, and by that he uses evil butterflies to give other bad guys superpowers or transform them into monsters. I'm not really sure about it, but you already lost me at evil butterfly. But when the evil rises, 2 heroes are called out for that only thing, I guess. I mean, I'm pretty sure there should be other evil in the world, but you know, this thing is superhero based. I vaguely remember, like, the only thing I think I know about the thing was that it's a hero from time to times, I guess. Because I remember walking in my brother watching the show, and that former Ladybug was Joan of Arc, which would make more sense why she was burned at the cross if she possessed this, I guess. Without knowing who the other is, Marinette is chosen to be Ladybug and Adrien is chosen to be Cat Noir, and they must work together to stop evil, which I will be honest, I just didn't care. Look, I saw a movie called Black Clover Sword of the Wizard King that was hard to follow not seeing the show, but I got the gist of it, and more so, I found it more enjoyable than this boring gorgeous story that feels like the most generic superhero movie you could come up with, especially for children. It's like how people always say they are sick of superhero movies until the new one comes out that's good and surprises them, and I agree that I'm tired of mediocre ones, but trust me, there are bad superhero movies, and I always think there's something new and good you can do with them. Just because there's a lot doesn't mean there isn't still a lot you can do. And that being said, this movie is just that. It's mediocre. Maybe it's just my fault, but maybe I think the show is, or at least the movie, is lame for several reasons. The costume, I mean, Cat Noir has a cat bell around his neck. Like, jeez, like, hey. I mean, hey, maybe it's just me who has a problem with this, because I think the show, or at least this movie, is lame for several reasons. The costume, I mean, Cat Noir has a cat bell around his neck. Like, why? Also, so if I was asked to write a Ladybug-centric superhero, I probably first thing should use wings or something, since what doesn't come to mind is a magic yo-yo. That the whole time I kept thinking she's just basically Spider-Man. Like, using the yo-yo like Spider-Man, she webs around in it. Well, no, she doesn't web around, she just throws it, and, you know, to get the place to place, uses it to be a bad guy by tangling them around in it or something like that. Like, it's just Spider-Man, but, you know, she's a ladybug, except this isn't really ladybug powers. I don't know. Oh, but I should get back to the powers later. And I have to be honest, I just don't like her voice. And it can be just a me thing again, but I think it's way too high-pitched. Despite that, the characters were fine, I guess. I mean, I can see why kids like them, and their show, despite, you know, what I said about thinking the show's ugly, this movie really has something that show... Actually, I have no idea if the show does have this or not, but, okay, I didn't know going into this was a musical, and what really grinds my gears the most about this movie was the musical numbers. My God, did they suck. Look, I didn't know going in this was a musical, as I said, like a second before the other sentence, but look, it's honestly both the best and worst thing about the movie, because it's a showcase for its animation at its best. Like, again, this movie is really beautiful to look at times. Like, this is the moments where I'm like, oh, wow, this is actually really creative. By God, these lyrics were trash. It's distracting how I can tell the singing voices are not the same voices as the leads. Like, the one I think I liked the most, I guess, was the bad guy, because I could tell that was the same voice. Even then, it was just whatever. Like, it feels like this is just padding to make this a movie, rather than, you know, oh, how do we do we need a musical number? Probably not, because it spends minutes on something I already know, or would be better without using the music. Maybe I would like this better in a different context, like maybe I would listen to the soundtrack concept. No, I wouldn't. No, the soundtrack's bad. But I just really hated every musical number in this film. That should be made clear. Like I said, though, the animation is great in this movie. If this was what the show looked like, then I would tolerate it. And I can tell they went all out for this movie, since the Tetris were actually detailed and they didn't just look like toys. I mean, they made toys out of these things because that's what this is. I don't even hate the fact that something is just, well, they made it because they sell toys. That works. This doesn't. Hell, literally Barbie surprised everyone was like, wow, I had no idea something based on a toy could be this good. Like, I've seen it over the last decade, how well they do it and how terrible they do it. Compare the Lego movie to the Emoji movie, or the Playmobil movie, or other examples. I mean, it's not like, did the toy come first in the real show? I mean, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, it was based on a toy that became the franchise it is now. So I guess in some ways it's kind of similar, but no, I'm getting off track. Look, I mean, okay. So, the movie itself, I mean, the story is fine for kids who don't really care about a compelling narrative. I mean, I don't expect the movie of the year for this, but halfway through, I thought this was over. The character arc was done for them to, you know, get along, and I had to pause it to pee, and I was shocked how much time was left. The villain's plan is very stupid. So, the powers that Miraculous, Ladybug, and Cat Noir have, so apparently he has destruction and she has creation. She never really uses it to, like, create anything. Apparently, though, they are the only ones who can bring his dead wife back to life. Like, what? I have no idea how they have this power or how that works, which I have no idea why they have that power to begin with. Like, I feel like just asking them, like, okay, if he just did, oh, I will not create evil if you can do this one thing for me, the one thing I can't do with money or whatever, and I will not be evil. Just ask, like, if it's that obvious, just do that. Ugh. Anyways, look, the way the movie ends even, I won't spoil it. Actually, wait, I don't care. No, okay, I won't spoil it. But the way the movie ends with how, like, there's this supposed to be emotional thing going on. Not enough time is spent with these characters for me to care about because they're so one-note and boring. Especially how I don't get why the main duo also have the problem of... So there's this conflict about, you know, romance going on. Ladybug... No, okay, so, what was it? Cat Noir likes Ladybug, and Marinette likes Adrien, but Adrien doesn't want to be around Marinette because he wants to be a Ladybug, not knowing she's in. I'm hurting my brain from trying to remember this plot, and now I have to figure out where I was. Not enough time is spent for me to care about this main duo, because I don't really care about this main duo, because they don't tell you who they are. Even though I feel like they should, it's not like they aren't allowed to. If anything, it'd be better since they are literally stronger together. It's their together you guys can defeat the bad guys together stuff. It's not even brought up once like, oh, can I know who you are under the mask? I could just say because I didn't get into this, that's why it's a bad movie. Well, actually, yes, that is why. I mean, I don't have to know the show to follow this, but I really didn't give a crap about the characters. Everyone's so one note, like the bully character, the random best friend, the other random best friend, like, oh, okay, what else was bad? The dialogue was bad. There was lines like, she's a hero, a shiro. You look like a watermelon. Are you supposed to be a watermelon? Or how about the fart jokes? Or the use of the Wilhelm screen in 2023 for a movie with like a double-digit budget? Or even the constant product placement of BMWs. I said, I don't hate toy movies based on toys if they're good, or even product placement in movies because you need product placement in order to fund the movie. It needs to be done, but damn did I notice everyone have a BMW, and I'm pretty sure most people don't have BMWs. Pretty sure that's not people's favorite car. And that's also the ones usually used in movies. I think... okay, positives. If I have positives. There are a few creative action sequences, like this one at the fair with this balloon monster, though the moment I saw that I was like, why does this remind me of Teen Titans Go to the movie? And the animation, as I said, is really good. Like, it's really beautiful at times. Like, the money is on screen. I just think kids will like this fine, but I believe there are so many better things to watch for them. I saw this on Netflix, and I can't imagine watching this on the big screen, which I know it was on the big screen in France. There are also worse options, but this movie, I think, is mediocre at best for kids. As for me, I think it's bad. I can't imagine people really getting into it otherwise, and I regret wasting my time, but... it could be worse. As it is, I think it's a beautiful film that is held down from everything else that makes it bad and mediocre at best. But hey, if some kids got out of it, like, wow, I get to see this in not ugly animation, or wow, I care because I'm 5. Anyways, I give Miraculous, Ladybug, and Cat Noir, the movie, a 4 out of 10.